Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Christ, and this is our Sunday night chat. And this evening, I really wanted to share with you someone that touched my life last year in a big way, and he didn't even know. We went to a convention in Las Vegas, and this man shared his story, and it moved my family tremendously. My husband and I looked at each other because there's a lot of correlations between what my husband dealt with and what Dale did. And he said some words that I've thought of every day for the last year. His comment, I'm going to let him tell his story however he wants. And I just know that he is going to pour on us. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say. So Dale, I'm just going to let you have it, okay?
She said you could take it.
Yep,
Okay.
all you.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry about, we're going to pull off here and get in the parking lot here so I don't have any ground noise, but thanks for having me on tonight, like old ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I'm going to give you a little bit of my story, a little of my history. And I always give 3 tips about how to build this business. So my story starts like a lot of men. I got in this business, got involved with these products because of my wife. My wife found them first, and she knew that I suffered from chronic joint discomfort. So she asked if I would try this product called Ease. Now, when I say I suffered from chronic joint discomfort, I mean I couldn't hardly get out of bed in the mornings. I mean, I would psych myself up to get out of bed because it hurt so bad. I would sit on the side of the bed for 30 seconds to a minute and get myself psyched up because the first 5 steps of the day were the worst 5 steps. So when I would stretch before I took my first step because I just hurt over. And if I took hitting my ankles, I had, my Achilles tendons bothered me. I had problems with my feet because of joint discomfort. So you name it, I had it. So when she started me on these products called Ease, I had tried everything I could think of for my from hurting. So, I tried glucosamine, I tried Advil, ibuprofen. At the time she gave me the Ease, I was taking a leave, and I would take 2 to 4 a day. So that's where I was at with, and as far as discomfort. So when she started me on these products, she told me to take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 in the evening. So I started on a Monday, and I did that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and woke up Thursday morning and got right out of bed and took off walking. I stopped myself after about 10 steps because I realized that all my pain had went away. It was gone. So I yelled downstairs to my wife. I said, Janie, what is this stuff? And she said, all my joint pain is gone. So a light went off about these products. Okay. Now you need to know this about us, is, when she got involved in Plexus, I told her that I didn't want to have anything to do with the business. We'd been involved in 6 or 7 different network marketing companies before, and I thought all of them were the same. Boy, was I wrong. And I'll get into that in just a minute. But because of that, I just supported her. I said, okay. I said, I tell you what, these products are working. So don't ever let me run out of that Ease. So my subscription right now is nothing but Ease. And, it's well over 100 just in the Ease that I take a month, because that product changed my life, guys. It gave me my mobility back. It just made me feel 25 years younger. And at that time I was 55 years old. So I knew the products worked, so she started me on the triplex combo and had great success with that. I started sleeping better, started having more energy, had better bowel movements. I was one of them guys that thought if you had one bowel movement every other day or every third day, that was normal. But little did I know that wasn't. Now I go 2 or 3 times a day. It takes the bloating away. It takes that yucky feeling that you get from not going. And I just overall just started feeling great. And I started noticing at about month 6 that I started getting stronger in the gym. I work out 4 or 5 times a week. I've done that for as long as I can remember. And at age 55, guys, you're not supposed to get stronger. And I noticed I was just starting to get stronger, and I was, I'm one of them guys that write down my workouts. And so I started really trying to calculate how much. And at 6 months, I was 12% stronger than I was before. So at 55 years old, I'm 12% stronger, guys. That just doesn't happen. There again, here's that light. Another light bulb went off in Dale's head about these products. So I knew these products are working. So then that ended up at 8 months later. So 2 months later, then I was 15% stronger. Okay, so I'm getting stronger in the gym, which is unheard of at 55 years old. I'm sleeping better, having better bowel movements, and I'm telling everybody and their brother about the product lead. Now I'm starting to buy about Triplex, okay? But I still don't want to have nothing to do with this business. So now I started these products like the insulator. Wife says, hey, they're having this thing called Super Saturday in St. Louis. I want you to go with me. I said, okay, I'll support you. I'll go, no problem. So we go to Super Saturday, and Emily Roberts and Jen Hawkins are there, and both of them are almost 9 months pregnant. As a matter of fact, Emily told us that she could have it while she was there. I mean, that's where it was right around her due date. So Emily's giving her story, and I'm sitting on this left center of the stage, second row, first row right on the aisle. And Emily pointed right at me, guys, and she said, I sat right there last year all by myself. And she said, I'm standing here a year later as a Sapphire ambassador. And I looked at my wife and nudged her with the elbow, and I said, did you tell her I was here all by myself? She said, no. But what happened, guys, was this in here, it was like a light switch went off. The switch got turned back on. And I looked at my wife and I said, if Emily Roberts can do this, Dale Mayo can do this. So, that's what you'll hear the term, if you go, you grow. And let me tell you guys, you never know what's going to happen. You never know when that switch is going to get turned on for you or for somebody that, if you know people that are him-hawing around about going to convention, you need to convince them to get there because it's life-changing stuff. It changed my life, guys. So we had a vacation scheduled right thereafter. We went to Florida for a week, and I couldn't talk about anything except the business. And up until this point now, I've been involved in this business, taking the products. I wasn't building the business, but I was an ambassador because my wife had already signed me up, but I wasn't doing anything. I had never looked at the comp plan. So while I was in Florida, sitting around the pool and on the beach, I got the comp plan out and started studying it because I'm a numbers guy. Okay. And I told Janie, I said, and to this day, I've looked at 32 different comp plans in network marketing. We have by far the best, the most generous, the fastest rank up availability of all of them, guys. I can tell you that. It's just a numbers thing. It's a numbers game. All network marketing is a numbers thing, but we've got the best one out there. And I looked at Janie and I said, well, why didn't you tell me how good this, obviously it was her fault now because you know how that is with guys. They always blame their wife. So, but anyway, I knew that she had tried 3 or 4 times to get me to look at it, but I just didn't want to. Okay. So now that I did look at it and I realized what I had, guys, we came home, I hit the ground running. I mean, the first guy that I talked to at work the next day on a Monday and went home and told his wife, he said, I'm getting in this business with Dale because I don't know what it is, but he's excited about it. So I went silver in 4 days. I went gold in 90 days. Just recently went senior gold. Going to go ruby sometime in the near future here. So, guys, this business is exactly what they tell you it is. And what's so unique about this business, guys, is what it's done for me. It might be different for somebody else. Their story is going to reach hundreds of thousands of people, just like your story will. And some people says, well, I don't have a story when you first get started. Share somebody else's story. Share your upline story. Share my story. If you know men, and I'm a big advocate of men in this business. If you know men that are stuck on the fence about this, get my convention YouTube. It's out there somewhere. I'm sure if you don't have it, I got it. I can send it to you. Let men watch that. Let them see that there is other men in this business doing plexus, because I had one of my family members ask me, he said, Dale, do men do that business too? And I said, yes, they do. So, we have the right business at the right time. We've got the right compensation plan. We've got the best products on the market. Products amazing. If you're still questionable about the products, I would ask you to do this. Be consistent for 90 days. Drink your water, and if you'll do that, you'll see results. Now, sometimes I was one of them people. I did not lose a pound for 8 months, but I didn't do this business for weight loss. But in my 9th month, I lost 12 pounds, not doing anything different. And I ask people all the time, what if I would have quit after 4 months or 5 months? I wouldn't have lost that 12 pounds. So consistency is key with these products. Your water intake is key. Being around the people in Plexus is key. You want to be on a Zoom call like this once a week. You want to go to the functions. Guys, I'm telling you, if you can go to convention, go there. If you don't have money, sell something that you don't need to buy your ticket and go. It's that important to be there. It's life-changing. This business will change your life. I just recently retired November 30th from my corporate job. And when I started this business, guys, I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. And I would tell everybody I didn't have time. Okay? We all have 168 hours a week, guys. We all have X amount of dollars. So if you take that 168 hours a week, you take 80 hours away from that, okay, you got 80, what is that, 86 left, 88, whatever it is. So then you sleep 8 hours a week. So you can keep deducting the time, and you realize I didn't have a whole lot of time. But I found a way to take my phone on break time, lunchtime, break time, whenever I could. And if you were in convention, you heard me say take it into the bathroom with you, because I know that most men spend 20 to 30 minutes in there. And guys, I can show you how to do all your contacts and your follow-ups in 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes a day, because I always have in the back of my mind a person thinking about the people that were like me, that were working 60 to 8 hours a week. Okay. So I always try to do things. I don't want to tell people that you can do this in the nooks and crannies of your life and then tell them it takes 2 to 4 hours a day. That's not nooks and crannies, guys. That's a big chunk of time. So right now, I can do 20 contacts and 40 follow-ups in less than an hour. And if you want to know how to do that, I mean, if you got IPA sheets and you got video saved, I can show you how to do that and be very efficient with your time, so that when somebody tells you they don't have time, you got a way around that, guys, because that's going to be one of the big excuses you get. So, this business is amazing. I mean, it's changed our life. Like I said, I retired November 30th from our corporate world. My wife and I do this full time now, if you want to call it that. And we do what we want when we want. We're leaving in the morning for 2 weeks in Florida. And to this point, we've never been on vacation longer than, I think, 10 days, if I remember right. So this will be our first 2-week vacation. And if it wasn't for Plexus, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So I'm going to give you 3 tips about this business. Number 1, first tip, anybody can do this, guys. It doesn't matter big, little, short, tall, wide, flat, tall. It doesn't matter. Anybody can do it, guys. It doesn't matter if you're your social economical status. It doesn't matter if you're, where you're from. It doesn't matter. Anybody can do it. If you do what the comp plan says, you get the money. That's bottom line. Second tip is you can do it in the nooks and crannies of your life, guys. You can literally do this business from your phone if you're like me and only have, an hour. Maybe I might have had an hour a day. I really don't think I had that much. But if you have an hour a day or less, you can still do this. So you can do it in the nooks and crannies of your life. And the third thing is, your excuse not to do this business is somebody else's reason. And when I say that, guys, I want you to think of this. I used to use the excuse, I don't have time. I made that my reason because I wanted my time back. Now that I've got my time, guys, I want to be efficient with my time so that I can do that, duplicate that. This is all about duplication. Network marketing is nothing but duplication. You duplicate that with somebody else that doesn't have time. So anybody can do it. You can do it in the nooks and crannies of your life. And third thing,
Your excuse is someone else.
Yeah, I was just messing. I did the same. Your excuse is somebody else's reason. So uh, that's basically my story in a nutshell. So I'll turn it back over to our host. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Dale. That last number 3 is what hit me, and I think about it every day. Every day. It doesn't matter if I'm a twin mom. I have, I stay at home. I watch other people's kids. I have a huge garden. I live on a farm, and I have an amazing team that it is super exciting to like help out and do. But you want to talk about some busy days? It's easy to get caught up, but I know that is those words just stuck with me. And every time you get in a tight spot, or every time I hear somebody tell me why it won't work, I'm like, well, but that's the reason it has to. When I started, I garage saled baby stuff just to afford my first month, and I was giving it back in 30 days. And here we are a couple years in, and you can't pay me to have it back. It's been a good thing. So does anybody have any questions tonight? I don't want to like jump off. If anybody has anything, you can unmute yourself and ask, or we can drop it in the chat. I'm sure Dale would be happy to answer. Don't be shy. All right.
How's it going?
Well, I thank you. Oh, go, John.
Hey, so Dale, I was just like you when it came to my fiance. She pushed me towards, leaning towards Plexus, and I was kind of deterred. I really didn't see I'd seen a lot of different things that didn't work out, known that there's a lot of product out there that is pushed, and I wouldn't say I wasn't a true believer, but it is what it is. It was hard for me to really grasp the fact that she could make this money and help others, and truly put her life on the line and make money and do that. So that to me is inspiring to hear that you were kind of in that same in that same aspect, and that only motivates me to try harder. So I'm glad to hear that from you as well.
I can tell you this: if you know anything, if you see the corporate, I call it the income disclosure statement.
Yes.
If you'll check that out, it says the average senior gold ambassador makes $19,000. My wife and I both are gold ambassadors. She's a little farther ahead than I am. So if you figure that up, we're making right at $40,000 a year
Just
out of business. Now,
just Plexus.
yeah, and being retired, that's a huge supplemental income.
Got a call coming in. Go ahead. I think I don't know if you unmuted or.
No, I said that's an awesome supplemental income.
Yeah, most definitely, and my wife, she's a go-getter, and I idolize that, and I really need to take my responsibility and go get my start trying to get more ambassadors or more customers. I haven't even I'm ashamed to say I haven't even opened my starter pack for because I became an ambassador, and I haven't even opened it up, and so I have a lot to learn. And Ashley, she's so motivated and so driven to make this successful. Make that happen.
I tell all men the best way to help your wife is to go emerald.
and that's our goal.
I like that tip, Dale. My husband's on here too. He's driving, but I'm sure
Okay.
he has no problem with that being his tip. We do have a question that's come up, a couple people, and myself as well. How do you get, what are your tips for IPA nook and crannies ventures? What are your favorite tips to really get that done?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh, we were asking Dale another question.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have if you want to call it a script, and I always lead with the business because the product side of this business is so awesome. You don't have to worry about the products. Okay. So if somebody turns me down on the business, then I always say, well, have you ever tried these products? Because they can help you no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to be a part of the business, these products will help. But I have a script. I have 2 or 3 different ways that I contact people, and I'm going to give you the one that I use the most. Okay. This is what I do. And I'm going to say the guy's name's Bill. I'll send him a message and say, Bill, I'm expanding. The first thing I say is, Bill, do you ever look at other ways to diversify your income? I'm expanding my Plexus business and I'd love to have you on my team. Short and simple. I've got that copied in my clip tray in my phone, and I can sit down and go. And right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm just going through all my contacts in Facebook, whether they're acquaintance, close friend, or somebody's just added me as a friend. It doesn't matter. I use the same approach to all of them. Now, if I know them personally and I know some tidbits about maybe their health or something like that, I might say, also, I know you suffer from migraines. I know these products will help you with that. Or I also know that you have symptoms of IBS or Crohn's, you name it. You can put it in there. You're doing this initial message, that's okay. You name that because you know these products will help them with that situation. And then I let them respond. If they don't respond in a couple of days, I follow up with them and say, would you watch a short video if I sent you one? Sometimes I say, have you even ever heard of Plexus? Because maybe they've never even heard of it. So that's and I use the IPA sheets right now. And the IPA sheets have 5 contacts and 5 follow-ups. What I'm doing is I'm doubling up each line. That gives me 10 and 10 contacts and 10 follow-ups. I'm doing 20 contacts a day and 40 follow-ups a day. I put the date at the top, fill all the information in, and I keep those in a 3-ring binder, and I just keep going, keep doing the same thing over and over. I'm not reinventing the wheel. We don't have to do that. It's already been laid out for us. So, all the way up to Celeste Gwynn, Celeste has an IPA sheet, and it's trickled down all the way to us. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel, guys. We just have to do the work. And in this business, you post on Facebook, you contact, you follow up, you attend meetings like this. Post on Facebook, contact, follow up, attend meetings like this. That's all it is. Post on Facebook, contact, follow up, meetings like this. Convention, Super Saturday, Leaders Retreat. Post on Facebook, contact, follow up. That's all it is, guys. We try to make it simple. We try to make it more than what it really is, but that's all it is. Post on Facebook, contact, follow up.
Yeah. So and we have a big thing coming up next weekend with the Too Big to Miss.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. I love that. All right. Anybody else have anything? Yeah. Any guesses?
Hey, Dale.
Yeah.
So, sorry if you hear road noise. Like Michelle said, I'm driving. My question for you is, a lot of men get frustrated and drop out, or maybe even just fall off business, and they always use that excuse of, this is a women's business, or, I don't have that women's appeal. What's your advice for those male ambassadors?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of them will drop off because they don't think they're getting the results, either with the products or the business. Would you say that's right?
Get in the bath.
I agree with that.
Okay. So if I personally, this has happened, if they don't get the results that they wanted with the products, I always try to stay close contact with them and figure out why, so that the next person that comes up with that same issue or excuse or whatever happened, then I can help them troubleshoot through that. Now, personally, my wife and I have had more people off of the products when they're going through die off than anything else, because the die off symptoms sometimes are ugly. I mean, if you get diarrhea for 2 or 3 days on the BioCleanse, most people want to quit. They don't like that. But if you can stay in close, what we've done here in the last year, and it seems to be working a whole lot better for us, is if we stay, when I start a new ambassador on the products, I contact them. If you guys have seen the schedule, what we send people on how they start the product, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, I stay in contact with them on every stage, and I ask them, tell me everything that's happened in your body that's changed right now. Tell it to me, whatever it is. Okay, I want to know every little thing that's happened. And then if it's the business side of it, if they say, well, nobody wants to do this, I say, well, that's not true, because you and I want to do it. We just got to find more people like you and I. Okay, I tell all my men to go get 100 no's as fast as possible. And the reason I tell them that is because then you're going to get used to people telling you no. It's not going to affect you. If you're relying on 1 or 2 people, key people to say yes, and they tell you no, it can blow them out of the water. So I want them, I'm programming them. I want you to go get 100 no's as fast as possible, and I will help you get them. But along the way, usually you pick up 3, 6, 10, 12, 15 that say yes. So I would encourage you to stay close with them during the products. And the business side of it, I would, plug them into the Plexus Man Cave. I would have them, I have a men's Zoom call almost every month. I missed April, but I'm getting ready to have one May 8th. So I tell all the men that I've talked to, hey, you guys need to come on here and listen to other men that are doing this. This is not just a women's business. I tell them about convention last year. There was 12,000 people there and 2,000 men. We're growing heaps and bounds for men. So, it is women's business when it started, and rightly so. They started as a breast check kit, but now it's a health and wellness company that benefits everybody. So, we need more men in this business.
All right, we have one more question for you, Dale, that came in. Somebody's really struggling with cold messaging. Do you have a feel or a suggestion on how to help them through that piece?
Well, I can tell you this is just as from experience. I had an issue with cold messaging up until last November. I was focusing on everybody that I knew. And when I finally said, okay, I'm going to start my Facebook friends, I'm going to start with my friends in Facebook are alphabetically. So I just started with the A's. I came up with a short, sweet contact, and I just faced that fear and did it. And my wife will tell you this, now I don't like to miss a day of doing my contacts and follow-ups. Mm-hmm. It's almost like once I got over that fear, now it's a really desire to do, because I know that's what it takes. And for some reason, I had this fear of contacting people I did not know that well. Being a senior softball player, we travel all over the United States. I have a lot of friends that are just friends of a friend of a friend of a friend. I'm sure some of you had some like that too. And I had this stigma in my head that for some reason I didn't want to contact them people. So, but once I just started doing it, okay, I started with 10. Okay. That's how many I used to do, 10 a day, 10 a day, 10 a day. And once it got routine, then I upped it to 20. You know, I heard somebody say, if you wanted to run in this business, do 20 a day. So that's what I want to run. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just, that's what okay. Cold messaging is, you know, whether you do it through a text or through personal messenger or phone calls, you know, very few people do phone calls anymore, but I still believe that the phone calls are the best so that people can hear your excitement. You know, that's what I like about personal messaging. You can send a voicemail, a voice recording of your message to them so they can hear your excitement, because that's going to help a lot. So that's just what I did with the cold messaging.
All right. Well, I don't have any more on the thing. I just want to say thank you, Dale. This has been a great call.
Okay.
And I look forward to seeing you at convention. My husband and I will be there, and hopefully we'll have some more of our team there as well. We have a lot of excited people, and I know your words today were just wonderful. So thank you so much, and thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, and drive safe and
Okay.
have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay.
Bye.